Will you please state your name and what is your address? And how old are you, Amber? Okay. And do you have a daughter? And what is your profession? Why are you here? And how do you feel about that? Do you recall that? And what, if any, role did you have to play? I said, for example. Thank you, Amber. I'm going to take you back, and if you can just tell the jury a little bit about your background. Tell us where you grew up. And your little sister's name is, and how much of an age difference is there between the two of you? And what did your father do for a living? And what did your mom do? Let me just, since you talked about the breaking horses, can you just tell the jury what your role is in assisting your dad on that and what is involved in breaking horses? And what, if anything, did you learn from your father about how to react to the horses? Tell the jury a little bit about your educational background during those growing up years and your work experience. So what types of things, so where did you go to school? And what did you do for work during those younger years? And what, if any, charitable work did you do when you were still young? And when you worked with deaf kids, what, if anything, did you do to learn to be able to work with them? Can I just stop you there? Why were you wearing a bathrobe? So how did you end up in Los Angeles? So when you arrived in Hollywood, please tell the jury what you did to get moving there, get going. Did there come a time that you auditioned for The Rum Diary? Please describe for the jury your experience in auditioning for The Rum Diary. So did there come a time that you learned that you were going to be cast for the role in The Rum Diary? So did there come a time that you started filming The Rum Diary? And where did you film The Rum Diary? And that's, so approximately how long were you filming in Puerto Rico for The Rum Diary? What, if any, gifts did Mr. Depp send you during that time period after you filmed The Rum Diary? Did there come a time that you ended up having to go on a press tour for The Rum Diary? And so you were then called to participate in the press tour for The Rum Diary? Please describe for the jury what that means. What was the Rum Diary? So describe for the jury your interactions with Mr. Depp during the press tour. And how long approximately did the press tour go? And could you please describe for the jury what a press tour is? Just explain it to them. And describe, if you can, the events of the filming and your interactions with Mr. Depp during that time. Did he use his tongue? Did you celebrate your birthday while you were in Puerto Rico? And what, if anything, did Mr. Depp do for your birthday? Now, did there come a time that you ended up visiting him in his trailer? And were you in a relationship at that time? And was Mr. Depp in a relationship at that time? And did anything else of significant happen during that time period while you were filming with Mr. Depp, other than what you've told us? And when you left Puerto Rico in the filming, when is the next time that you had any contact from Mr. Depp? Anything, communications, written communications, as well as telephone or otherwise? So that's close to two and a half years after you filmed. And what happened next with respect to any relationship with Mr. Depp? So when you returned to Los Angeles, what, if anything, took place with any relationship with Mr. Depp? So while you're dating, I take it you're dating at this point, right? Did there come a time early on that you ended up going to his Bahamas Island? So after the Bahamas, I assume you came back. So what were you doing work-wise? Now, we've heard a little bit about Lone Ranger, and that's about mid-2012, is that right, when he was shooting that? And so what, if any, visiting did you do with Johnny while he was on his set for Lone Ranger, and where was he? Now, by the time that you're visiting Mr. Depp during his shooting of Lone Ranger in the June through August 2012 timeframe, what, if any, relationship has he developed with your family? And what, if any, relationship had Mr. Depp forged with Whitney by this time, your sister? And what, if any, relationships did Mr. Depp form with your friends? So going back to the filming of The Lone Ranger, what, if anything, did Mr. Depp do with respect to a horse? What, if anything, What if anything did you do with respect to knives during the time period you were with him in the Lone Ranger? Did you buy Mr. Depp any knives during that time period? And were you shooting anything at that time? And so we've heard a little testimony about boots. What, if anything, did you do to help Johnny with his boots? And what was the expression, the saying? Do you remember the first time that he physically hit you? Please tell the jury about it. And what did you do after that? Chose to stay in the relationship? So you stayed, correct? You stayed in the relationship. Do you recognize this picture? And could you tell us what it is? And does this accurately depict the scene portrayed? Is this a picture of you? Is it an accurate picture of you? And did you confide in anyone about these issues you were having? I think she can say if she told anybody. Did you tell anyone? Who did you tell? And when approximately did you start confiding in your mom about your issues with Mr. Depp and the physical abuse? When did you start confiding in your mother about the abuse you were suffering at the hands of Mr. Depp? Did there come a time in March, Amber, where you sent a picture to your mom? Without saying what you said in the text, explain why you were sending it to your mom. If we can scroll up. This is a text message exchange with your mom, correct? Is this the picture that you sent to your mom on 3/23/2013? Well, it says from 2 weeks ago on it. Can you describe your relationship with Mr. Depp during that month? And we'll start there. So let me start with the painting incident. Please tell the jury what happened on that particular incident with the painting. Before you go into that part, let's pull up Defendant's Exhibit 161, which is already admitted into evidence, I believe, Your Honor. Do you see that? Just thought you should know there exists a book titled Disco Bloodbath. And then you say, we need that book. And you say, is this about last Friday night by any chance? And he says, how can you make me smile about such a hideous moment? And is this a picture that you took of yourself in March of 2013? And how did you sustain that bruise, Amber? Let's wait until we get to the spot. All right. All right. Now, did you have any other altercations in March 2013 with Mr. Depp? You know, and I know I've interrupted you now twice on that, but I realize the jury doesn't. Can you tell them what you mean by orange? Thank you. Now, please continue with the painting. I'm sorry. Do you recognize this photo? Please tell the jury what it is. Amber, you said that you took this that morning. Okay. And what are these white lines on the table? Did there come a time that you wrote an email? All right. Now, did you end up sending a copy of this picture to Rocky Pennington that day? Okay, you can't say what you said, but you sent it to your friend, correct? Mm-hmm. And is that the email in which you sent this picture to Rocky Pennington on 3/22? All right, and is this the text message, the email that you sent to Rocky with this picture? All she did was refer to that she wrote it. She isn't saying. Now I'm going to take you to, let's go to Hicksville. Let's tell the jury about Hicksville. Can you tell the jury what transpired at Hicksville? How were you feeling about your relationship with Mr. Depp? Did there come a time later in June that you finally met Johnny's kids? So then I'm going to jump to, and it's not much of a jump, there was a plane ride to Russia with Johnny. Do you recall that? Well, tell the jury about that particular event. So what happened? She's just saying gesture. He hasn't said anything yet. What, if any, injury did you have? Okay. Tell the jury what happened on that trip. Please continue on. You can tell, and you can say what you and Mr. Depp said, okay? You can't say what she said. You can tell expressions or observations, but you can't say what Lily Rose said. And let me just stop you for a moment. And this is text messages from Mr. Depp to you. Do you recall these? And are these the text messages? Your Honor, I'm about to go into another event. Should I keep going?
I mean, that's fine if you think this is a good point to break for the day.
I think it's probably good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and conclude for today. Again, do not read anything about this case. Do not do any outside research, and don't discuss it with anybody, okay? Have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning, okay? Thank you.